Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Tonight, Sean, should be like what Floyd called Canelo. If you're familiar with Floyd Mayweather and Alvarez, Saul Canelo Alvarez, should be easy work. There's a lot of NBA games for sure. Not a lot of college basketball games, but really not a whole lot to cover in terms of different sports. So, this will be the Canelo Alvarez to Floyd Mayweather night. We'll hope to make easy work of what's out there.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm nervous to pick any NBA or college basketball. I've been picking a lot of 50-50 games, and I'm definitely, how you say fade me right now.
Well, just fade. I've been kind of floating around like 50-50. Like I go 2 and 3 one night, 1 and 2 the next night. Hit a couple, I look forward to the NFL because it seems to be the hardest thing is the easiest thing for me so far lately. But, just another case last night it did kind of go 50-50 because Brooklyn was way behind all night and they came back to win that game. It's the funny thing in watching that game, Sean. So I was doing some work at my computer here in my dungeon, locked in. They won't let me upstairs until after dark. You know what I mean? That kind of thing until they got the garlic and the crosses out. But anyway, I was watching the game on the computer, trying to keep track of it. And every time I looked up, it would say player turnover, like on Yahoo or something like that. And then the name would be like James Harden. Mm-hmm. Player steps out of bounds. James Harden. Player A steals ball from player. Whatever. Luka steals the ball from James Harden. Player misses free throw. James Harden. It's just like every time there was something negative with Brooklyn, James Harden.
Well, and that brings me, and I was going to bring this up. He had one stolen, or they stole it from somebody. The guy ran past Harden. He made like one step towards him, like he was going to foul him, and then left him go. Didn't chase him or anything, while his teammate chased him all the way down the court. That kind of stuff. And it's multiple times this year where it's just lack of effort, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't like Brooklyn, New York, Sean. Maybe he prefers Oklahoma City. Maybe he just likes it,
Maybe he should just he should just do a Kyrie Irving and not play at all.
Just to say, I lied. I'm like Antonio Brown. My Vax card allegedly is not real.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
If you don't want to play anyway, just don't.
And then he and Kyrie can sit at midcourt and burn incense.
Yeah.
Actually, got to respect Kyrie for taking a position, right? Whether you agree with him or not, the guy took a position. And unlike so many other people who like to chatter, Kyrie put his money where his mouth is, right?
Yeah, sure.
So in that respect, you got to appreciate what Kyrie is doing. Looking at tonight's line moves, a little bit of Bob Seger instead of night moves. Maybe we should have somebody cover a song for us, the Bob Seger night moves, and we'll call it line moves, and we can come into that. But some interesting ones. Brooklyn tonight. The Milwaukee Bucks went from -3 to -6.5. I have to guess that means Jimmy Butler absolutely isn't playing.
I had questionable.
I know Bam is out too.
Yeah.
Some thumb issue. So maybe it was the Bam issue, but that line moved aggressively. And then the Nets went from a 6.5 point favorite to a 2.5 point favorite. Somebody's not playing tonight. Is it Harden? Is it Durant, or is it both?
It's Durant.
Oh no!
So you can do Harden all over again for all the negative stuff.
Yeah, you'll be watching that game. Turnover by player. Harden stepped out of bounds. And late in the game, right? So I was watching this too. Just another one of these examples. And I didn't play basketball growing up. I got wrestled in high school and stuff like that. So it was the same seasons. But in any case, I played summer basketball with some good friends, some really great basketball player named Paul. But, late in the game when you're up by like 6, everybody's yelling, even in intramural basketball or outdoor summer league basketball, don't foul, right? Minute left in the game. Luka's got the ball. Luka Doncic to shoot two shots, fouled by James Harden. It's like, I don't even need to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I find it pretty funny. But in any case, Sean, any key injuries tonight in the association that can affect the outcome of these games?
Well, we covered a couple of them. Durant's out for rest, which I thought earlier, and you almost have to now with back-to-back games, guess who they're going to rest, or they're going to rest one of them and jump on, because Houston was a 6.5-point underdog. Now they're like 3.
So question for you.
Yes.
For you. If they had said Harden, do you think the line would have went down or up?
It would have maybe went down 1 or 2 points instead of 3.
I would have been more inclined to go with them. Hey, it only went down. It should go up with him out. Anyway,
Jimmy Butler's questionable again. I'm thinking he's leaning towards not playing again. We have Jaylen Brown questionable. He'll be questionable the rest of the year, it looks like.
For conditioning.
Yeah.
Is he hanging out with Zion, or what's going on?
It's a hamstring issue that they're just trying to nurse through the year. Mm-hmm. DeMar DeRozan is out for the Bulls again, health and safety. Mm-hmm. D'Angelo Russell is out from Minnesota.
He agrees with LeBron. It's a little fishy. I'm not saying anything about COVID. I'm not saying anything about fake cards. I don't want to get banned by all the COVID bros out there, but a lot of what they said was going to happen didn't happen. They said with these SEC football games and hundreds of thousands of people's in the stands, these were going to be spreading events. Well, they're not spreading events. A little bit of reading might tell you why. And I'm not going to, again, get into any conspiracy theories, but I was listening to, I don't know what they call them, whatever those ophthalmologists are that do the looking at these diseases.
Okay.
And they said that the reason why it doesn't transmit outdoors is because it's not where it was created. Because viruses that are created outdoors tends to transmit outdoors, and viruses that were created indoors tend to transmit indoors. So the fact that the virus is being transmitted indoors tells you where and how it was created. Now, where and how it was created, I'll leave that up to everybody else to fill in the blanks.
Okay.
Makes sense though, right?
Yeah, it does.
But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
CJ McCollum, second straight game out with the collapsed lung. Lillard still off. He had a collapsed lung. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said with the clap. I was like, what?
No. Collapsed lung.
That right?
No. And Lillard's still out. And then you have Daniel House Jr. and Kevin Porter Jr. out for the Rockets. One thing that player back, Tyrone Maxey for the Sixers, is back after 1 game absence, so that will help the Sixers a little bit.
That should help the Sixers. All right, looking at some of these lines that were the smart money lies, so to speak, Sean. So probably the one that stands out to me, probably early on here, you have about 2/3 of the tickets on the over in the Sixers Hornets game. I guess coming off that other night when they went to double overtime and probably came damn close to 300 points. But 2/3 of the money, a little under 2/3 of the money is on the under. Interesting in the Wizards Pistons game, Sean. 2/3 of the money is of the tickets are on, or is on the Wizards, but 95 cents on the dollar backing the Wizards. I know that you like that sort of dollar amount, and last time you jumped on one like that, it played out pretty well for you. And that same game, 60% of the tickets are on the over, but 2/3 of the money is on the under, Sean. And that's really about it. You have in the Bucks Heat game, again, most of the tickets are on, well, both of them are on the under on that side. So really no other really big discrepancies except for the Jazz and the Timberwolves, where 51% of the tickets are on the under. This is an unusual scenario because usually we see this the other way around. But 85 cents on the dollar, Sean, is on the over. And it's the same way in the Nuggets-Pelicans game where 55% of the tickets are on the under, but over 70 cents is on the over. So we haven't seen much of that this year in the NBA at all. Most of the time, the tickets are on the over and the money is on the under. So a couple of plays there where the smart money says, which has been kind of not the way to go in the NBA this year, play the over.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Jazz Timberwolves, as especially with D'Angelo Russell out, one of Minnesota's weapons, and Utah's got a good defense.
Russell. He's pretty good, that guy.
And you brought up the Pistons. Cade Cunningham might be really talented, but he's one of those guys. You say about Karl Anthony, I don't know. His shot and everything, it doesn't look good. Even when it goes in, it's very awkward, and I don't trust him. When you're rooting for the Pistons and you see Cade Cunningham shooting, I do not trust it at all.
Well, I just don't know. That's all that matters, right?
Sometimes, but
it doesn't matter how it gets there as long as
a lot of times, a lot of times he's missing. He just, I don't know. Even in college, he was like that, where he
Well,
would.
if you watch the NBA, pretty much every guy, a lot of times he's missing. It's just kind of like I said, it's kind of hard to watch at times.
Yeah, this is true.
It's pass out to the edge, pass out to the 3-point line, and guys casting up long shots over and over and over. And if they're off, it looks, in nights where they're making it, it looks nice, right? Ball movement goes in. But on nights when everybody's missing, it looks brutal. Just brick, 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 brick. And that's how you see game after game after game where a team only scores 14 points in a quarter. And it's like, fellas, in the old days, guys like Jordan, if they were struggling to score, he ain't going to cast a three. He's going to go to the bucket and either dunk the ball or get a layup or get a foul and get to the free throw line. There's no such thing as any. There were probably 14-point quarters back then, but there were 14-point quarters because Bill Laimbeer was,
Yeah. And Jordan usually was scoring 14 points a quarter himself. So,
yes, indeed. Same with Blake. All right, Sean, tonight in the NBA, what have you got?
So I got one of these that you said about the over, Sixers Hornets. I'm going the over 214. I think this looks awfully low since they did go 127, 124 in overtime last time.
Yeah, but I think it was double overtime.
No, it was one overtime.
One overtime.
And they were over that total in the in regulation by a good amount. So I don't see how that goes under. You get Tyrone Maxey back.
Now I
know
1,000 ways it's going to go.
Yeah, I'm sure because I just said it. But I'm going to go the over there.
214.5, Sean, for minus 110. So that number come down a little bit. Wasn't it 215 a little earlier?
Yeah, it might have been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm going to go Cleveland giving up 3 to Chicago. Cleveland's been playing really well with some injuries. You got DeRozan out for the Bulls, and I know they played well the other night without him. Kobe White, I believe, still out. So I'll give up the 3 with Cleveland.
You're going to get minus 110 there, Sean. I actually have Cleveland winning that game by 4. So you're going to be hanging on tight, hoping that kid at the foul line at the very end doesn't break one.
I would expect no less. If I'm going to win, it's going to be one I'm going to be sweating out. I will say a player prop to look at there. I won't make this official, but Jared Allen over 16.5 points. He's gone over that total like the last 7 or 8 games. So since he's come back.
Really, I know that the Vooch.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Presence, he's not really a defensive presence.
Yeah. And then I got 2 more plays. Memphis giving up 2.5 to Dallas. I actually was expecting Dallas to rest some players. You don't know how much Doncic will play here with that ankle playing last night. They're on a back-to-back. Again, Memphis has some injuries with Ja out and a couple other people, but they've been playing well. So I'll give up 2.5 with Memphis.
Uh-huh.
And then Golden State giving up 14 to Portland.
Ooh.
Portland's got nobody, and Golden State's been winning these games by more than 14 points regularly.
So you can get minus 2.5 for Memphis for minus 105, which is interesting. And then you can get Golden State minus 14 for minus 105 as well, Sean. So actually you can get plus 100 for Golden State minus 15. So we'll do a little bit of line shopping for Sean. Line shopping for Sean. Sounds like a QVC television show, right?
Yeah.
And then they're looking for like clothes that you can wear when you go like square dancing. I could see you square dancing. Yeah.
No,
right?
no.
On TikTok,
we talked about this. No dancing for me.
No dancing for Sean. All right. For me tonight in the NBA, Sean, I agree with you on the Memphis game. We were both on the Brooklyn game the other night, sweated it out last night, but they actually came through at the end. So I feel like that's a game that's going to happen. So I'm going to take a Memphis minus 2.5 for minus 105 with you, Sean. I'm on that. And then I'm going to play an over in, if you had to pick a game and you're like, there's no way I would touch the over in that game, what game would it be?
Ooh. I almost think the Minnesota-Utah game, like I said, 219 might be a little high for that.
Well, I'm going to go with the Oklahoma City-Toronto game.
You're going over.
I'm going to go over 206.5, Sean, for minus 110. The line's actually moving up a little bit because it was 206 when I did this just a half an hour ago. So it looks like some of the wise guys out there are hacked into my computer, Sean. So I'm going to take 206.5, go over that number. Oklahoma City doesn't play defense. And it seems like in their games, one team, either Oklahoma City or the team they're playing them against, one of the teams has a 40-point quarter because they make everything, because they just olay everything. So if there's a 40-point quarter for one team tonight, be it Toronto or Oklahoma City, hopefully one for each in the first quarter. So I feel pretty good for the rest of the game. That game goes over.
Yeah, I mean, even if you have 40 point, you can afford a 14-point quarter, and you might still be all right.
Well, not
with
14.
that though. I know, but if you get one that's over 40, you're over 206.5. You get one quarter of 40, you'll be good.
You're done. And if you watch their games, there's always a team in their games with Oklahoma City, be it them or the other guys, that end up having like a huge quarter.
As long as Alexander plays the whole game, you'll be all right. If not, you can give up 150 and still maybe not get the over.
They did give up 150, right? All right. So college hoops, Sean. There's a lot of games tonight. I'm starting to look. I was looking through this. Just a point of fact here. I pretty much. Well, I'm going to violate my own rule right off the get-go, but I going forward, I'm not so sure that I'm going to bet another road team the rest of the NCAA basketball season.
Is that the win or just with the spread or both?
Any of the above. Because if you watch, the home team wins over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And maybe it's because early in the season, out of conference games, maybe the better team is at home for the other team that's coming to visit, the lesser team. But even in these tight games, for the most part, where the two teams are supposed to be competitive based upon the line, right? You see lines that are +2, +3, +4, even up to +6 you would expect to be. That's really a 2-bucket game, 2 threes, or a 3-bucket game. And these games are being decided by double digits over and over and over again. So, I mean, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Animal House.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're getting paddled, thank you, sir, may I have another?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I continue to go on road teams, I've just taken a paddle to the rear end and said, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?" Looking for some black and blue marks.
So I'm breaking your rules tonight.
Oh, I'm going to break it too right away. But anyway,
okay. Well, you want to break the rule first?
Yeah, I'm going to go Connecticut.
Okay, with the points.
Connecticut's getting 2.5 points right on the road against West Virginia. But when I look at the stats in that game, Sean, Connecticut owns every single statistical category except like crazy coach.
Yeah.
That one is favoring West Virginia for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome that you just gave that speech and you just started it right off with the words. You really do you do really want that paddle. Is that all you got then?
Thank you, sir. May I have another one? They hit me in the rear, and the money comes out the front. That's how it goes.
Is that all you got in college basketball?
That's it, because that was the only one. So I was looking for home teams. Okay, so I was looking at Xavier as another potential home team to cover tonight. But in terms of how the teams match up, there are some advantages for Ball State. So I say I can't do that. And the other one was Ohio State against Townsend, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, that number was right on the edge, and I feel like Ohio State, coming off that Duke win, is probably going to have, against the lesser team, maybe not as much energy.
Yeah. So I have two. I have Marquette, a 1.5 underdog. I will take them to win outright at Kansas State. I believe it's like +110. Marquette's been battle tested. They played a tough schedule so far. They're winning. Kansas State, they're good, but they're not anything great. I think Marquette should win this. And then my 5-star, I'm going to put the jinx on everything here.
Oh, no.
Cornell +17.5 versus Virginia Tech. They are 7-0 against the spread.
Virginia Tech just did that the other day with a team that was like that was 6-0 against the spread.
Their only loss is because of me against the spread. So
that's what you're trying. Do you have friends that go to Virginia Tech that paid you?
No, but if anybody wants to send payments, I'll give you my PayPal to do that. I just think that's way too many points. Cornell's been good. They score a lot of points. They lost earlier, a week or two ago against Penn State by like 11 or 12. So they went into good teams before.
Just Penn State is
but that
powerhouse traditional program, right?
Actually, though, Penn State, that game they were leading for a while too. So I don't think Virginia Tech's going to blow them out.
Basketball, the first team that comes to mind that wears blue and white is Penn State.
I'm sure you do. They just jumped off. Cornell's not a bad team. They're good this year.
They're great.
And
Sweet 16 for sure. Circle them right now. Go out there and get your future.
Maybe we'll be able to replay this if they ever do actually get in the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
you never know.
If we both lived to 2,462. We'll get there one.
So those are my 2 plays.
All righty, Sean. So run down your NBA roster again and your two college plays.
All right, I got Philly, Charlotte over 214.5. Cleveland giving up 3 to the Bulls. Memphis giving up 2.5 to Dallas. Golden State giving up 14, which I hate to do, but Portland don't have much left. To Portland, Cornell plus 17.5 in my lock and jinx that. Yeah,
lock, this 5-star 4-unit play.
Look out, Cornell plus 17.5.
Like the Browns. Hey, when all else fails, you know what they say. Take Cornell at 17.5.
Yeah, there you go. And then Marquette to win outright against Kansas State in Kansas State.
I'm going to take the over in the Oklahoma City game against Toronto. 2 powerhouse offenses in the NBA, absolutely, unquestionably. But really what it is that one of them, there will be a quarter where neither one plays defense. I'm agreeing with Sean. I'm taking Memphis for my laying a 2.5 against a leg-weary Dallas team that played in a tight game last night. And then I'm going to break my own rule right after I made my own rule, and I'm going to take Connecticut on the road against West Virginia. Do I take the 2.5 points, Sean, or do I do like you and go ahead and try to, if I do like you and I take the money line and take the plus 120, then they're gonna lose by 1. So I'm just gonna take the 2.5 points and hope that they cover.
Okay, I was gonna say I'm not leading you either way on this one because I know if I lead you down that path, they are gonna lose by a point or 2.
Yeah, and it's gonna suck because what's gonna happen is they're gonna be down, they're gonna be up 1 and that's gonna don't foul, and suddenly James Harden's gonna run on the court.
Dreams are, yeah. So we definitely played for everybody to fade today. We gave the speech about road teams in college basketball, and we played 3 road teams in college basketball.
Absolutely. So fade away.
And we also played 2 overs in the NBA.
Like Jordan and Kobe in the second half of their careers, baby. Just fade.
Yep, and
not
brick after brick.
They're just like fadeways, not just. Anyhow, anything else, Sean?
No. Not tonight.
That's it for me. Tomorrow we'll be back with the NFL, which should be I think you would think it's going to be a shootout between Pittsburgh and Minnesota, but what you think is going to happen and what actually happens sometimes are completely 2 different things. But nonetheless, I feel it's going to be an entertaining NFL game tomorrow night. So I look forward to getting back to a league where I actually pick winners and you don't fade, you play along with me. And then we'll talk about the NBA and college basketball as well. Tonight in soccer, there is an international friendly between Mexico and Chile. In Mexico, Mexico is a plus 125 team at home. I feel like it's probably 60% Mexico wins, probably maybe 15-20% they tie, and the remainder that Chile wins. So with that being the case, Sean, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put 10 on Mexico to cover at plus 125. And you know exactly what's going to happen there.
Yeah, it's a stupid soccer tie.
Yeah, super stupid soccer tie. We can add that.
I swear, when I ever
stupor because you have to be in a stupor to bet soccer anyway.
Yeah, see, that's what I was going to say. If I absolutely had to play soccer, or, when we're in the COVID days and not much going on, I would just look for the tie to play because that seems to be the way to go.
It happens only really like 1/3 of the time, but still.
It feels like so much more than that.
It does indeed. Because we notice ties probably more than we notice wins or losses, right?
Yeah.
Especially because in most of the time, the ties, you're winning, and then the team scores as the clock is winding down, some crazy ricochet goal that bounces off a guy's rear end and then off the goalie's face, then off the post and in, and you're like, did that really just happen? Was that really the magic bullet that Lee Harvey Oswald shot it, but in the soccer version?
Yeah,
we're all over conspiracy theories today, Sean. Conspiracy theory Wednesday.
There we go. Do it every Wednesday if you want.
Yeah, we can do that. Maybe we should do that. Conspiracy theory, we'll debunk it, and if we're right or wrong, maybe our picks will win. All right, Sean, we'll be back at 23-3. If you like what you saw, please follow us on Facebook at Moneyline Madmen and Twitter. It's the same handle. Subscribe here on YouTube. Tell your friends about us, and make sure you join Sean and I tomorrow, along with our friends Tom and Terry over at Horse Racing Radar TV on YouTube or at Horse Race Today on Facebook and Twitter. We're going to have a great guest tomorrow, John Dooley, who is the track announcer at Fairgrounds Racetrack. There's a lot of big races this Saturday at Fairgrounds, and he's going to share some secrets on what you might want to look for at Fairgrounds when you're trying to find winners. Right?
Yeah, and he was also the announcer at Arlington Park that just closed down for years too. So a lot to go over with him.
A lot to go over. It should be a great show. Tomorrow should be a great show at the NFL, Sean, until we're back at 23-3. May all of your tickets do nothing, Sean. If not, stuff your pockets full of cash. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Everybody have a great Wednesday.